Welcome back to Aspirations, career advice for your life. I'm Mina, joined by my co-host, Merna, Salah, and we're sitting with another great professional, Miss Rita Youssef. Rita Youssef is a physician's assistant, also known as PA, in the professional world. Super knowledgeable about the medical field, and we're very excited to learn more about her career choice as a physician assistant. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I knew I wanted to be a PA because my brother is also a PA. So when he was starting his schooling, I saw that it was 4 years of schooling. We both did a bachelor's program, which is not really happening anymore for PAs. It's a master's program now. And that the work afterwards would be similar to a doctor, but with a better work-life balance. So that's what made me interested in it.
And what was the pathway to get into it?
So for me, I was in a bachelor's program.
Yeah.
So it was 2 years of pre-PA studies, and then 2 years of 1 year of didactic classes, and then 1 year of rotations. For now, PAs require a master's degree. So after they finish their bachelor's in a science field, they apply to PA school and they do that 1 year of didactic classes and 1 year of rotations.
So it's a 2-year master's?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah, so the loans vary on where you go. If you're doing, a CUNY, SUNY, or a private school, that will greatly vary your loans and also the financial help that you get through scholarship. I think the usual range of what I've been hearing from my experience and the PAs that I know is about 100,000 in loans.
Oh, that's actually really reasonable. So for about 6 years, people are graduating about 100, 120, something like that? I'm
speaking up based on my 4-year experience. Right. It'd probably be a little bit more based on the master's as well accounted for.
Did the program?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So can you just kind of describe what your day-to-day looks like?
So I work in internal medicine and I do night shift at a hospital. So my day starts with getting sign out from the previous shift. And they basically tell me a little bit about the patient, why they're coming in, what's their diagnosis, what's their plan of care, and things that I have to follow up on. After that, I make my list and I chart review my patients. I go through their lab results, their orders, their imaging, read their notes from their doctor and their different specialties that we consulted for them. And I make sure that I understand why the patient is here, what we're doing for them, and what we have to follow up on. After that, I'm just putting out different fires on the floor. Nurses will message me about a patient's blood pressure that is uncontrolled or that a patient has a new fever and that we have to work up and find what's the cause of the fever. And then we get admissions from the emergency room. So these patients are newly admitted, they're coming in, and we write up their plan of care. So we put in, why the patient is coming in. We consult the specialties that have to be consulted. We order them whatever medications they take at home and their medications that we're going to start them on, whether it be antibiotics or to treat whatever they're coming in for. Okay, so I work 3 days a week and they're usually consecutive shifts, one after the next. The shifts are 12 and a half hours.
Nice.
But for PAs, it could vary. You could work a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but hospital settings, it's usually 3 shifts, 12 hours.
That's cool. That sounds like, it's cool because it sounds like you can have like some sort of a work-life balance, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And the last person we talked to said they have no work-life balance, basically. Can you tell us, do you think that you have to be passionate about your job, career, whatever you want to say, or does it kind of like clock in and out, no problem, I don't really need to care that much about this?
Yeah, I would say you definitely have to have a little bit of passion about the field of medicine, because a lot of the times in medicine, it's very demanding. A lot of the time, there's no thank you from the patient or the family or the team that you're even working with. So you have to have some sort of passion for it. I will say that I don't have an extreme amount of passion for my job every day, especially when I had a very tough shift and, the patient didn't make it or the patient was very unhappy with their care, even though we're doing everything they can, or the family is taking out all of their anger and frustration on us. or there is a different specialty that's giving us, pushback on a consult that is appropriate or taking their frustration out on us. So yeah, the passion varies, but I think when I look back on my career and I, go home at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I am passionate about my career. It just, I need to have some thick skin sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so in New York, there's definitely a demand. PAs and nurse practitioners are sort of still up and coming compared to, residents and doctors in the field of medicine. A lot of the people still don't fully understand what's the role of a PA or a nurse practitioner, these kind of mid-level providers that are not, like completely independent providers like a doctor.
Right.
There are some differences between PA nurse practitioners, but they are cost effective. The schooling is less than a full doctor, so it is an up and coming field.
Right.
There is a demand.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It feels like a really great middle ground, honestly, right? Like
Yeah.
doctors, we heard that you can be in school for like 15 years post college, and then, nurses, I believe it's like a 2-year program. So like feels like a great middle ground. So props to you. What is something that you love about your job, and what's something you dislike about it?
So what I love about my job is definitely that work-life balance, like you mentioned, working those 3 shifts, and then I usually have 4 days off in a row to rest and recover and, take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, live my life. I do like working the 3 consecutive shifts because I like to really know my patients and understand them. So I feel like those 12-hour shifts, although they can be very long sometimes and I just can't wait to go home and sleep, I feel like it helps me to fully understand why my patient is there and get to know the story a little bit better. What I dislike about my job, I would say for the field of PAs, I wish that more people understood what a PA was, and whether it be the patient or, people in the medical field, like the nurse or the doctor. I feel like sometimes we're confused for a nurse or we're confused for the, the attending physician.
Right.
But we really focus on the team aspect. So I think that's something that I would say I'd like to be improved.
That's really insightful.
So I think, everyone that works in the field of medicine really remembers that Jesus is the ultimate healer. And, through all his miracles that he did, healing people, I think that's really what I remember. And I try to emulate through my, small work, in my small role in my patient's care. What we're here to do is to heal our patients. And a lot of the times I rely on God's strength, on God's help, on Christ's ultimate healing. And sometimes I pray for my patients, like, we're doing all we can, but you're not responding. And, your family's suffering so much. So I pray for their healing and for God to strengthen their family as well.
That's beautiful. And this is something that all our viewers really love to learn. It's not spiritual. It's actually probably maybe the opposite. But what is an expected salary for a PA on average in New York and whatever, national, whatever you want to?
Okay, like a starting salary?
Yeah, starting salary.
I would say starting salary is probably going to be around 110 to 120,000 a year, and obviously that'll depend on the shift work you're doing, the specialty. But
Right.
I would say that's a good starting salary.
And
for
what's the
2023.
upper bound? Like, where can somebody go? Like, they progress, they do it for 5, 10 years, 20 years. Where can they end up?
So that depends on your specialty as well. And also, PAs can also do administrative work, like being the chief of the medicine PAs, or doing administrative and not really centered on patient care.
Right.
So honestly, I wouldn't say I know how much you can cap at as a PA.
Well, I hope there's no cap.
Yeah,
You just
I
keep
hope so
flying.
too.
I hope you keep flying. Oh, I'm good. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the next episode of Career Aspirations.